episode of Buzz's Kitchen! I've been getting requests for all kinds of recipes to cook out there for y'all on Facebook and YouTube. And I tell you what I got a killer one for you today. Alright? And it's right out of my cookbook. So eat me! Now, we're going to make the dish that everybody's been requesting of, the most requests out there, and thanks a lot. And it is for Venison Chilli! What you're going to start with is first meat. So we got 1.5 pounds of venison right here. Now I'm using this chili mix because it's for a 2-pound mixture and it gives a little bit more richer taste for that 1.5 pounds of burger. We're adding nothing else in it, just the burger this time. I'll do the burger sausage one next during my Christmas special. We're gonna use 1 can of tomato sauce. We're gonna use 2 cans of stewed tomatoes. I like stewed tomatoes myself. I prefer it. You can use diced tomatoes, don't matter. Then we're gonna go with 2 cans of beans. And of course you can see I use a variety, 2 different styles of beans. So, kidney and pintos, but set for chili, so they're already spiced. Red pepper, I prefer over green, but just 1. And we'll use 1 onion, and then your garlic. And on top of that, just like last time, we are cooking with beer! We're cooking with Old Samuel Adams. And that gives it that unique taste. Instead of adding water, you put beer. A whole can or bottle of beer. So let's get started and getting cooking, because I am getting hungry! Well, first things first, let's dice up some of these vegetables. We got the onions, we got the pepper, and we got the garlic. So of course we're gonna just cut our onions and of course I like the minced onions. That's the way I do it. And everybody's got their own preference. Got some stragglers in there, but that is what I like. And we just dump that in our bowl. And then of course our peppers, which break in half and then I cut up into cubes. And of course we stew these in with the onions, all the vegetables, and with some olive oil in the pan. Nothing like the smell of pepper and onion mixed. Now of course we add in our garlic, and we will just kind of mix that around a little bit with the oil. And then I have our vegetables. Onions and peppers. And then mix that around so that garlic doesn't all stay on the bottom and get burnt up. And then we just top that off. Now of course once this is done up, we will take this off the fire and put the peppers and onions in the bowl and add a little bit of olive oil. Turn the flame back up on high, and then we can snip and open up our meat, which I snip in 2 spots and I pinch, snip the bottom. Because what happens is the vacuum makes it just drop right out. Like that. Then we'll start breaking this up. Now of course what we have is, while the meat is browning, we open up our beans, our other cans of stewed tomatoes and tomato sauce, and we open up our packet. Out of this packet, of course, you'll be using salt, the pepper, and I use a little bit of the cayenne pepper, but the salt packet and the chili packet we'll use, and then we add about half of that pepper in there. It depends on how hot you want it. What we have here is flour to mix it in to give it a little thicker bite, but we'll see how the chili goes with 1 can of beer and go from there. You never want to add your flour mix to your chili, at least for the first half hour. and see where it thickens up to and how much it thickens up to. So this meat's just about brown. And what we'll do from here is be ready to start adding everything. Alright, so now we can lower the heat and add the beer to cool down everything. So we can start with a nice, cool pan to add stuff in slowly. We'll put in our onions and peppers. And then we will add our tomatoes. Tomato sauce. And stewed tomatoes. Now we don't add the beans in yet because the more you mix, the more crushed up your beans get. So don't mix up your beans right away! Now what we'll do is we will get our chili mix ready, and of course add that in. Now you'll say, oh, Buzz's chili is a cheat. Well, you'll see what I'm doing. You'll see. So now we'll want to mix up this real well. Turn the heat back up to get it to a boiling point. And then we can go into our spice rack. Well, out of our little spice rack, we have some oregano, some dash of that. We have some Italian spice mixed with basil, a touch of that. And then we have multi-spice, which is bay leaves and other herbs. And then, of course, the questionable cloves. So we'll get 2 cloves out of here. And we'll put them in early, because that takes a little while to get that taste. That's why Buzz's chili takes an hour to cook. You want that to get right nice and thick. Now, of course, that cayenne pepper pack, what are we going to do? I like it somewhat hot, so we're going to add a little bit of that. Now, of course, I add just a little bit more chili powder and just a little bit more. And you see the way I rotate that? That just gets it out a little bit easier. Cumin. And keep that on the side just so we know, and our pepper, so we know what we want it, the flavor. If we want it hotter, if we want it more spicier, or whatever. Now that whole bottle of beer in this chili has made it pretty liquidy. Some of you might like it like that. Okay? I like it a little bit thicker, so we'll probably end up using that packet of flour, and I'll show you how to do that to get your chili thicker. Now you will add in your beans. Since everything's mixed up, and we won't disturb these beans as much, and getting them all crushed up because you want to keep them as whole as possible. Now we'll cover and simmer for an hour, 50 minutes I put on there, and we're going to figure out how it tastes and add any additional flavoring that you want to it. And I'll show you then what we'll add. So stand back and wait, and 50 minutes will be like that. Like right now. It's been simmering for approximately 50 minutes. As you can see, it ain't bad. It's a little bit on the soup side, a little watery, which I just don't particularly like. So with our little mixture of flour and water, I'm just gonna pour a little bit, just a little bit up into here, and you can see how that'll be. And I'm gonna mix that around real good. And it smells good. We'll just let this cook now. 15 minutes. And come back and see how the taste is. Alright, so now it's been a 15-minute period where we got it mixed up. And so it's basically cooked for 1 hour. Now we want to taste a little bit of it. Good, good. I'm going to add in a little bit more powder. And we're good on the pepper and the cumin. But here's one thing that people don't know is Buzz adds sugar. That's right. I add about 2 pinches of sugar, which is about a tablespoon. And that is to kind of take that bitter tomato-y flavor away so it ain't as bitter. Now I can add usually 3 tablespoons to give it a little bit of a sweet taste, and that's for the sweet chili. So now with that mixed, we'll add an additional 10 minutes to that, and So there it is. You got a nice bowl of chili. You add in your own pepper. So everybody's taste is different. But the basic thing is that you have venison chili ready to go and have a nice dinner. Now the only thing missing from this is this beer. And of course, you can't have chili without beer now. Really. Buzz's chili you can't have without beer. I don't know about anybody else's, but this beer venison chili is the shit. And I tell you, it looks good. And there you go. Another episode of Buzz's Kitchen.